What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Sports Shorts Friday. Ronnie Rantz, Tommy Krysan. Hope everybody had a great week. Man, what's some unbelievable news? Unbelievable news. I don't know where this unlimited checkbook is. I don't know if they're using counterfeit yen. I don't know what it is that they're going on in Baton Rouge, but hey, hopefully the feds raid the place when I'm long gone. But congratulations to the LSU Tigers, Tommy. They bring Will Wade back, the only prodigal son that is hated by everyone else but LSU fans. The LSU is going to have the biggest target on its back going into 26-27 between Lane Kiffin, LSU mercifully crucified all over the country for hiring Lane Kiffin and taking him away from his team before their playoff run. Will Wade gets fired after one season and taking NC State to the NCAA tournament. Uh, Kim Mulkey is you love her if she's yours, you hate her if she's on the other sideline. LSU baseball has won two of the last three national championships. I mean, like the Big Four are set up with four of the best coaches in the country.
It really is. You know, Ronnie, it's something quite interesting, and you and I have been around for a while. We won't say how many years. But if you look at Lane Kiffin and Will Wade, how many times in our years has that first name that popped up when there's a coach opening ever really got the job? Okay, sometimes that happens in the NFL, the NBA, college sports. Usually that first name that surfaces never gets it. But, as soon as Brian Kelly was out, they said, we're going to go after Lane Kiffin. They got him. We knew they were going to fire McMahon. We suspected it, and they all of a sudden the rumors are that they're talking to Wade and they're going to get him. So they get Will Wade out of NC State after 1 year over there. He's coming home. Everybody saw the message. Hey, I was on WBRZ TV yesterday talking about the Will Wade thing. I said there's more excitement about LSU basketball in the last 6 hours than there's been in the last 4 years. I said so. The fans are excited. Everybody's excited. And they're in a fishbowl. And LSU, you're right. It spent $250 million since October. If you count buyouts and new contracts and across the board stuff. I mean, it's a different world. If LSU fans didn't think it was a different world before October, now it is.
It is an exciting, different world. Matt McMahon let go at the 11th hour and 59th minute, like right before they announced Will Wade. They're like, "Hey, yeah, Matt McMahon." But hey, don't feel sorry for Matt. He's getting $8 million to go away, Coach. $8 million. He'll be paid a percentage of his remaining contract that was to run through 2030. He's a wonderful guy. Gave it his best college try. Didn't work out. He's walking away with had made millions of dollars, going to make millions of dollars more. So, I don't feel sad for him and all that. You know the job you're getting into. If it doesn't work, you get a parachute with millions of dollars. So I think we'd all take that. When it comes to Will Wade, Tommy, the question to me, and I have to stop thinking this way, okay? As a fan and as someone who works in the industry a little bit, I have to stop thinking this way. One, I have to stop worrying about fiscal responsibility. Okay, like that's not my job. Like I'm not the CFO of LSU athletics. I don't work the books. I don't have to fundraise for the LSU athletic department. So therefore, stop worrying about it. It's kind of like when I hear Joel Davis go, "Well, we shouldn't get that tight end. I mean, he's not worth $8 million. I think he's only worth 4." Joel, it ain't your problem, right? It's Mickey Loomis's problem. It's whoever else's problem. They'll figure out. But as far as LSU is concerned, Tommy, you gave me a number that the Tigers have spent or gonna spend. What is it?
$250 million. 250. Hey, America's 250 years old. LSU spends 250 million, counting buyouts of not just head coaches, but there's some assistant coaches that have been bought out, new contracts. I don't think it was that long ago when the whole budget at LSU was like 160 million, 165 million for the entire athletic department. Now they spent 250 million on coaching stuff, NILs in there too. The funny line, the memes came out. Will Wade said he was told NIL means now it's legal because what he did and got fired for at LSU. Obviously, everybody did it. He got caught, and that's what I said on WBRZ yesterday. But it's just mind-boggling. I think you're right. You and I, we can go back to September, October, when we thought they might fire Brian Kelly, and you said, and I agreed, they don't have the money to fire him out. They're not going to pay him $54 million. That was a drop in the bucket compared to what they've done. What they are doing is sending a message to the FCC, to the rest of the nation. LSU's serious about what they're doing. Now, is this, you got to pay the credit card off one day. So, like 5, 10 years from now, is LSU, eliminating sports? They're talking about building the new arena. I mean, it's just they're printing money some kind of way down there.
Well, I think they definitely are going to try to get it. They're definitely going to do the new arena. Now that you got Will Wade, I mean, you got all the
Yeah.
reason, the motivation, the momentum to do so. He's going to make $4 million a year. Ended up paying $4 million for the buyout of Will Wade, not 3. They gave him 4 so that they could take him early. I don't understand that. They throw away.
Could have waited till what, Tuesday?
Wait, like you could have waited till after April 1 to then officially announce Will Wade, and if you got him for 3. Instead, you get him a few days before for 4. I mean, that's $1 million can get new turf over at Goldspeed. I mean, they were just throwing around $1 million for Will Wade to not go on vacation this weekend. I mean, what are we doing? I don't get it.
Well, no, Ronnie, you got to call Verge Osbury. You've known him forever. Verge, we need some turf at Goldspeed, okay? Just some of that stuff that falls on the side Monday afternoon, put turf at Goldsby for the Rougarou.
So the athletic director at McNeese, Heath Schroyer, Schroyer, who was a former longtime basketball coach at many different colleges. They moved him to AD before COVID. He's done a great job over there. He and Will Wade super close. He's a basketball guy. He gets it. He's been hired at the same time. This is not a surprise. It was well known within the circles that if Will Wade was going to come to Baton Rouge, he was going to want Heath Schroyer to be on that staff. And so what you're going to see here is basically you have an AD and Verge Osbury, whose primary focus is going to be football. Obviously, he's over the whole athletic department, but he's going to be more hands-on football. He was the hands-on guy who got Lane Kiffin. And then you got Heath Schroyer, who's the guy who got Will Wade and is the guy that Will Wade will deal with on a daily basis. And that will be, sort of who he reports to. And so, Schroyer, I'm guessing, will also be kind of over women's basketball as well, being a basketball guy. He'll kind of be worried about basketball. Verge will worry about football. Obviously, they'll both worry about everything, but those will be their main responsibilities. It's incredible what a difference a year makes, or not even. You got the coach, basketball coach, AD, and president at McNeese all switch over to LSU. And we had heard about these rumors. We'd heard about all these possibilities. We were told all these things. But you just don't believe you're going to go 3 for 3. And that's exactly what they did. They went 3 for 3. And you credit Lee Mallett behind the strings as the puppet master, who's also now the head of the board of supervisors, who's super tight with the governor. Landry, who's one of his biggest donors, who helped, get all these donors to donate to Landry's campaign in the power sector with all the refineries and everything in Texas and Lake Charles and all the things. It's amazing how it all came to fruition. Oftentimes you hear behind the scenes what's going on and you think, yeah, okay. I mean, it's not really going to happen. Well, no, it did. All the things we've been hearing for a year and a half all happened, and happy for all of them. Know all of them, some more than others, and it's going to be exciting times in Baton Rouge. TK, going to be exciting times for sure.
Well, it's good for Sports Shorts Monday and Friday, and for Sports Shorts Radio. By the way, tomorrow we're at BRQ Barbecue and Seafood on Jefferson Highway near Airline in Baton Rouge. It's going to give us plenty to talk about, plenty to analyze, discuss, predict, talk about. So it's not all bad for all of us guys. Like I said, I got the call from Hunter McCann at WBRZ, one of their people who interviewed me yesterday about the Will Wade thing, and then my phone blew up with people that saw it on TV, so that was good. But we're gonna have plenty of fuel. Every morning I make my little notes for the show. Might not have to make a lot of notes this fall. I'll be able to just rip it right out of my head.
No question. So I prediction, TK. I think LSU basketball probably had, if I had to guess, based on the attendance, based on kind of past history, I don't think they had more than 7,000 season ticket holders for LSU basketball this past year. My guess is the number fell short of that. Okay. Women's basketball had more. Baseball had more. Obviously, football has more. I'm going to say that with Will Wade being the new coach and being announced the new coach, they will top 10,000 in season tickets, if not get close to a sellout. I think you're definitely going to be north of 10,000 in season tickets, pushing 11, 12. And that's, that's, that's territory that LSU hasn't seen since Dale Brown or maybe ever.
Well, Ronnie, it's funny. I was with a friend of mine yesterday at a business lunch, and he had made a post, and then I talked to him. He said after years of debating it, he gave up his basketball tickets like a month ago. He had a couple of good seats, and sometimes he give them to clients and friends and the business reasons, whatever. And now he wants them back, and he don't know if he can get them back because of what happened. But he said for the last 3 years, he's thought about just canning them. Well, he pulled the trigger on canning them. And now he's wishing he had them back. But I agree with you. They'll be north of 10,000. And how crowded will it be on the home opener for Will Wade and the Tiger basketball team this fall, whenever that is, and whoever's it doesn't matter who the opponent is, it's gonna be packed. They could play the Rougarou pickup team and it would be sold out.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, let's talk a little bit about LSU football. Some reports. It's amazing how open the practices are, how much information flows through the video, all the reporters able to cover. I mean, it's like it's country club access over there for all the reporters. Now, that may end one day. That may end when the regular season happens. It's surely going to end when they lose a game or two. But for right now, it's all great. Everybody's great. Everybody's in a good mood.
Yeah, no, it really is. Lane Kiffin has, provided the juice. He's been in the parades. He's wearing Rougarou jerseys. He's going to basketball games. I mean, he's doing the drill, and he has embraced the fans. The fans have embraced him. Will Wade's going to do the same thing. He'll be throwing out a pitch at a Rougarou game, I'm sure. All right, a quick question for you. I'm going to blindside you with this. Would he throw out a pitch for the Gumbo Gators?
Will Wade?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. If he's in,
because he
Lake
loves.
Charles,
He has such
he's
great
beloved.
success.
Look, there's no bad blood whatsoever between Will Wade and McNeese. In fact, people over in McNeese are happy for Heath Schroyer, and they're happy for their president, and they're happy for Will Wade to be at LSU. They understand that. Look, it's an obvious jump from McNeese to LSU, and you have to do that for your career. They're appreciative of what they did in Lake Charles, but at the same time, there's no bad blood, and but he will be throwing out the first pitch for an LSU game for a Rougarou game this summer for sure.
Well, and Will Wade put McNeese basketball back on the map. They had a decent history before. You start with Joe Dumars and go from there. But Coach Bill Armstrong kept the ball rolling, okay, because they were in the tournament again this year. Were the McNeese Cowboys. So, so he's got to get a couple of first pitches, a Gumbo Gator first pitch and a Rougarou first pitch. We got to get that on his calendar, Ryan.
Yeah, we'll definitely will. I'm sure it'll be Southern Regional Medical Center night. Charles Harvey, Jason Ramazan, and all them. Their night is when we'll schedule their night along with Will Wade because they're all good buddies and they're big supporters of LSU men's basketball. So I'm sure he'll be throwing the first pitch out on their night.
Ronnie, I put it up on the screen, brrougarou.com, gumbogators.com. I know both teams putting a push for season tickets right now. Merchandise, schedules are posted. So get to brrougarou.com, get to gumbogators.com, part of the Texas Collegiate League. Don't forget the Acadiana Cane Cutters are in there as well. So go get those tickets now. It's going to be a fun summer. I got a feeling crowds at Goldsby are going to be bigger than they have been. And the Rougarou are the reigning Texas Collegiate League champions.
Yeah, no, year over year, in the 4 years that we've been there, they've all the attendance has gone up each and every year. So we expect more of that same this year. All right, TK, what else do we have? We got tonight a big one. LSU women's basketball. They don't play till what, 8 or 9?
9 o'clock Louisiana time. They're an 8.5-point favorite over Duke. Back on December 4th, they beat Duke in Cameron Indoor, 93-77, 16-point win. So it's Sweet 16 time. If LSU wins, they get the winner of UCLA, Minnesota, who's the other part out there in Sacramento, California. That's the why it's got the late tip time. So Duke's a 3 seed in the tournament. A lot of chalk in both the men and women. In fact, the Sweet 16 in the men's tournament, all from major conferences, That's only happened twice in the history of college basketball where they got to the Sweet 16 and all 16 teams were from the major conferences. You know, the other year it was last year. They're talking that this is the portal and the NIL, an unintended consequence of all of that. That you might not have like when George Mason was at the Final Four when John Brady took the team. You might not. Butler got to the finals that one year. Might not have all that anymore. They're thinking because of the money. Because who spends the money is who's going to win. Okay, in 99% of the cases.
LSU basketball, I mean, LSU baseball tonight in action against Kentucky. The Wildcats come to town. And as far as LSU baseball is concerned, Krysan Evans will get the ball game one. Of course, last week was one of the best performances we've seen as a Tiger pitcher, 15 punch outs, 1 walk, 7+ innings. William Schmidt will go tomorrow, and then Staff will go on Sunday. My prediction and guess is that if Zach Cowan is not used on Friday or Saturday, then he would start on Sunday. And the same could be said for Gavin Guidry. If he's not used on Friday or Saturday, I would think Zach would be your first option based on history and performance. And he's been throwing well lately and, all that. And then Guidry probably the second option. Other than that, they don't really have anybody else. You're talking about a true staff game where you're going to throw guys 1 inning, 2 innings, and you're just going to keep them going until they can't go anymore. But important that obviously Zach Cowan gets started tonight and to see if he can just stack another outing anywhere even near what he did a week ago against a Kentucky team who's hitting about 12 points higher than LSU, maybe a little more than that, and they can really pitch it.
Well, Kentucky's ranked 19th. LSU's not ranked. I don't know if 2 months ago we'd have thought we'd say that today. Kentucky's 20-4. They're 4-2 in league play. Of course, the Tigers are 2-4 in league play, having lost to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma. By the way, Oklahoma got 10-run ruled by Texas last night. That was the only Thursday SEC game. So Kentucky comes in a little better than maybe we thought they would be. And, they think they're getting a wounded LSU team. As Jay Johnson said, these guys just got to figure it out and start making it happen. Some of the guys that have struggled, it's got to turn around. And you would think there's a chance of that, but it's not going to be easy against Kentucky.
No, it's not. It's not. But the weather's going to be great. A lot going on. Zach Bryan concert Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. So it's going to be a pack. They have over around 75,000. I heard tickets sold so far as of a couple days ago. So that'll probably go north of 80,000. So you're going to have a football game atmosphere on Saturday out there in Tiger Stadium. LSU playing. So a lot of good stuff. The radio feed, Chris Blair. Doug Thompson. I know Buzzy Heidel is going to do the game on Sunday with Chris, but the radio feed will be going on, and they'll take that feed and they'll put it over the jumbotron cameras, the in-house sort of jumbotron cameras. That will be the feed for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So no Lynn and I or Lynn and Ben over the weekend, but we'll be back on Tuesday. Whoever LSU plays midweek next Tuesday, we'll be back for that one. All right, what else we got, TK?
Apologize, a little technical issue there. By the way, Ronnie, Major League Baseball is underway, full speed ahead. Bad day for Paul Skeens. Worst outing of his career. Did not get out the first inning in New York against the Mets. Mets are supposed to be a little bit better, but there's a long way to go. But Paul Skeens, again, no, sorry about that little situation there. Let's see. We get a little. There we go. Sorry about that.
I don't know if it's your end or my end, but I just want to comment on the Paul Skeens stuff real quick. First off, Coach, if you look at the history of great pitchers, you always, Nolan Ryan, for example, you would always say, Roger Clemens, hey, if you don't get him in the first inning, you're not going to get him, right? Because And why is that? Well, Coach Berkman used to always point it out to the media, to the players, and all that. And that was that when you're in that first inning, there's so many things that are going on. One, you're not used to the mound, right? You've been down in the bullpen, the mound's pristine. You got to get it, kind of to your liking. You got an umpire who traditionally is usually tight in that first inning. The zone is generally smaller, gets bigger as the game goes on. You're also facing the other team's best hitters, right? I mean, 1, 2, 3 in a lineup. You're facing their best hitters, and usually they're adrenalized. So you got their best hitters,
Again,
small
we
zone.
apologize.
You're not
Got some internet issues that hadn't happened to us in a while.
Can you hear me now, TK?
Right. Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's
so my point is that the first inning is always the most difficult inning. In this case, and Coach Berkman used to always say also, hey, guys, we need somebody to make a great play behind Rantz to help him get out of the first inning. And he'd say that to about everybody. But his point was, hey, because of all these factors, I need the defense. Somebody's got to step up, make great play, help out your pitcher. Well, that did not happen in yesterday in game one. His center fielder literally dropped the ball and should have caught a ball that was hit over his head, but it was a major league ball. You run down, you catch it. And so he gave up 4 hits, but really 2 of them should have been outs. And not only did he give up, not only were one of them, and they were listed as hits and not errors because he didn't even touch the ball, but they weren't like one base mistakes. These were triples and doubles, and so it was a combination of, yes, he wasn't at his best. He only walked 1. It wasn't like he walked 4 or something. He just didn't get any help from his teammates. It was a combination of he got hit a little bit and he didn't get any help from his teammates.
I agree with you. Cruz's got a little history of he didn't hustle for a ball one game last year. I mean, he's got a little history. He's a good player. There's no question, but he's got to clean that up. And he kind of admitted that after the game. And Skeens took the high road, and there's a long way to go. Skeens is going to get another 28, 29 starts, and we'll see what happens.
All right, TK, tell us about Tremonti's as we get out of here.
Yeah, Tremonti's, you want to order your Easter crawfish now. If you're doing the family thing, home or away, you want them boiled, you want them live, call now. If you reserve your crawfish here at Tremonti's, you're going to get them. You're not going to order 6 sacks, and they're going to tell you we only got 5. Whatever you order, you're going to get from Tremonti's Meat and Seafood here in Baton Rouge. Anything you need for your Easter crawfish, live or boiled. Now, don't forget, tomorrow morning, Sports Shorts Radio, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles. We'll be live from BRQ Seafood and Barbecue in Baton Rouge. What a great place that is. Charlie and the staff and Anna, they do a great job. And we're on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. ESPN Southwest Louisiana covering the Lafayette and Lake Charles markets. Sports Shorts Radio tomorrow morning. Ronnie Rantz and I, Joel Davis, got some other good stuff for you. In fact, you'll have a chance to win tickets to the LSU Southern baseball game if you stop by BRQ tomorrow morning and see us. It'll all be on social media. We want you to check it out. All right, don't forget our good friends over at Core Street Cafe. Steak night tomorrow night. They got the Sunday brunch going on over at Core Street Cafe in Port Allen. 2 great things, 2 great ideas, 2 great plans. Let's go. We're going to say hello to Bryce. Says hello, Tommy. Bryce Boudreaux, the voice of the Gumbo Gators through the PA system. A big-time announcer, big-time guy. All right, Sports Shorts Radio tomorrow morning. Sports Shorts Monday night at 6:30 over there at Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. Remember, we ship the gifts. Sports Shorts Monday nights at 6:30, Friday mornings at 9. On behalf of Ronnie Rantz, Mike Tremonti, and the staff here at Tremonti's, I'm Tommy Krysan. Have a great weekend, everyone.